Before the cock crows. The purpose of this publication is to introduce the reader to true and false religion by demonstration, showing the opposition that the Directorate of Trojan Horse International Tulip Incorporated encountered during their mission to the Philippines between October 2002 and 2003. David Clark, a British subject, was a missionary seeking to fulfil his calling. As the Honourable Director of Trojan Horse International CM, he and the Directorate, which comprised of David Clark, Michael Clark and Gordon Smith, encountered remarkable opposition from various quarters in New Bilibid Prison, Muntinlupa City, Philippines, between October 2002 and July 2003. Most of those who opposed the mission were religious men from among Asia's most notorious criminals in the National Penitentiary, which is situated in the reservation of Muntinlupa City, 1770, Philippines. David was a sent minister from the Beaton Strict and Particular Baptist Church in 1982, seeking to fulfill his calling, despite all those falls and difficulties that he had experienced as a Christian since the 16th of January 1970 and his secession from the church in 1984, all of which he writes about in detail in his book, Let Christian Men Be Men. If one were to judge the success of the mission by the amount of opposition that he experienced, then the mission was a remarkable success. Newton stated that to every force there is an equal but opposite one to oppose it. And, like Newton, Davies suggests that to every proactive work there is an equal but opposite reaction. If this reaction were to be the measure of success, then the mission was remarkably successful. It also serves to demonstrate that God always triumphs, God saves not by might but by his Spirit, that God put to flight thousands of his enemies and empowers the ones and twos who trust in him in order to show that salvation is truly of the Lord.
So Gordon, you've asked me why we're coming. Well, we're coming really to celebrate the fact that Michael, my brother, Michael John Clark, that his amazing story, in fact it's so amazing, we ought to tell the world, hadn't we? Now what are we going to do now, Gordon?
We're going to the prison to see the director.
The director? Does he know the Trojan horse is going into his room? Will he know?
He will do.
And what are we going to do when we go in there?
We shall explain to him why we've come to preach the gospel.
Trojan Horse mission to the Philippines was a mission to help and bring aid to Michael Clark, the director's brother, who had been sentenced to a 16-year prison term in 1995, who, after coming to an end of himself, so to speak, and being convinced that Jesus was Christ, the Son of the living God, through reading C.S. Lewis's book Mere Christianity, he turned his back on his criminal past in New Bilibid Prison and was baptised as a Christian in September 1999. We tell of the Christian mission work that William Ola Pollock was called to and his return to his own city in Baguio to preach the gospel.
Right, here we are. Here's Pollock writing out the manuscripts.
After his conversion from crime to Christ while serving a 14-year prison sentence in New Bilibid Prison. Please view the enclosed URL links to the video outlining his work, introducing William Ola Pollock.